What's going on, you guys? This is your boy RBG, aka the Random Black Gamer, bringing you coverage on Transformers 1. And boy, does it feel awesome to say that, because we actually have things that have been provided by the officials themselves, those being Paramount and Hasbro. That's right, we've essentially weathered the storm and survived this drought of news, and now we actually have so many different things to talk about, it's not even funny. As you guys are aware, Cinemacon just had their final day showcasing all the new trailers, and Transformers 1 just so happened to be one of those trailers that was showcased, and we have a lot to talk about, so stay tuned. But you guys already know what I gotta do. I have to ask you to like this video. Yeah, I know it's annoying getting this request at the very beginning of the video before you watched it in its entirety, but YouTube's algorithm encourages it. So if you rock with your boy and you know I'm gonna bring you that awesome Transformers content, then smash that like button. And if by any chance you make it to the very end of this video and you feel like you wasted 10 minutes of your life that you can't get back, then by all means retract that like and give it a dislike. Just rate the video. But yeah guys, we've essentially survived that dry spell of Transformers 1 content, but now we're essentially gonna have a flash flood because Cinemacon unveiled a new trailer, and as you can expect, a lot of things are gonna start to just spill out in regards to this movie in terms of its visuals, the promotional material, and most of all, a trailer that we can expect next week. As I mentioned in my last video, it was rumored that the trailer was gonna drop in May, but no, as it turns out, it's gonna be a lot sooner than we expected, which is awesome because it reminds people that this movie does exist and we're gonna finally get a chance to see what it has to offer. Funny enough, after I made that video, Josh Cooley, who is the director of this movie, pretty much confirmed that there is gonna be a trailer in the near future by posting a cryptic yet funny image of Optimus Prime's trailer, which is basically him saying it without saying it. You have Optimus Prime's trailer, which basically alludes to us possibly getting a trailer in the near future, that being April the 18th. And as you can expect, a lot of people were just speculating on what we could possibly see, but we didn't have to wait that long to actually know what we're going to potentially see in this upcoming trailer that's going to be revealed next week. Those who were lucky enough to attend the Cinemacon event were kind enough to provide us with a lengthy description on what they saw in the trailer, and there was a select few that gave their impressions on what they thought about the trailer, which ranged from good to downright mixed. And I'm going to harp on that later on in the video, but I just want to talk about the synopsis we got on this because it's very interesting, and for the most part it confirms what we already knew, except it goes in greater detail. This comes by way of Cybertron.com, who I think you guys should definitely check out, and it reads as so. Cinemacon 2024 got to see the very first trailer from the new animated movie Transformers 1. The story follows a young Optimus Prime, still known as Orion Pax, played by Chris Hemsworth, and his brother-like relationship with a young Megatron known as D16, played by Brian Tyree Henry. The two robots do handiwork together in the underground world of Cybertron, but their friendship grows shaky when Megatron wants to rebel and find out why no robots are allowed on the surface of Cybertron. Optimus reluctantly decides to help him figure out the truth behind this mystery because he can't help but support his best friend, even if it may not be the best idea. The two decide to embark on a journey together to unravel the secrets of Cybertron, a journey that will eventually make them rivals. So yeah guys, it's as we assumed, this thing is going to be taking a lot of inspiration from the IDW comics, specifically the War for Cybertron tie-in comics, which I had to make clear because somebody pointed out that I didn't give the right information when I said IDW comics, even though the damn comics are published by IDW, but I digress. Yes, in the War for Cybertron spin-off comics, we got a chance to see more of what happened before the events of the Cybertron War, and if you read this comic, you probably noticed the heavy undertones of classism, or in Transformers terms, functionism, which hits close to home because we live in a world where people of a higher class look down on others who aren't in the same tax bracket as them. They're always putting out these different structures and policies that'll ultimately benefit them at the expense of the lower class, and that's essentially what you get with this Transformers story right here, except like I said, it's going to revolve around functionism, which is a social system that determines your place of work based on your alt mode. Say for example, you just so happen to transform into a tractor or a pile driver. You're going to be one of the unlucky contestants to slave away in mines to extract energon, especially if you just so happen to be a Constructicon, which are characters who always get the short end of the stick no matter what comic book iteration you see them in. Like, even the Bayformers didn't spare these guys since they were essentially reduced to being drones for the Dynasty of Primes. Speaking of primes, I think it's only right that I mention that Sentinel Prime was a major proponent to ushering in this system, and it's already been rumored that he's going to be a major antagonist in this movie, where he's going to basically be a very pompous and self-absorbed bot. Characters such as Optimus Prime are going to look up to him shortly before realizing that he's not who they think he is, and we're most likely going to see Megatron put an end to him, kind of like how he did up in his Megatron Origins IDW comics, which the War for Cybertron tie-in comics takes heavy inspirations from. But as you hear, this thing confirms that Megatron is in fact going to be called D16 before he gets his true moniker, and this is basically a name that's been assigned to him for his particular sector of work, because he's nothing more than a nameless laborer, and it's already been alluded to that this is going to be a coming of age story where these characters really come into their own. Him and Orion Pax are basically going to be these best buds that work in the underground together, and if you've been reading the comics, you know that Megatron is going to rise up through the rankings by participating in these gladiatorial events, where he basically comes to the revelation that his role in society shouldn't be defined by his function and he's meant for a greater purpose. But getting back to the movie's description, it says that the entire scene shown at Cinemacon 2024 focused on Orion Pax and D16 breaking into a training facility with the help of the not so helpful B-127 played by Keegan-Michael Key, soon to be known as Bumblebee. They're eventually caught by one of their Autobot friends on patrol, Alita 1 played by Scarlett Johansson. She tries to report them to the authorities for breaking in, which leads to a colorful chase as the train the group was looking for actually takes off and sends them all on a scenic trip across Cybertron. Orion and D16 catch up to Alita 1 as it surprisingly reaches the surface of Cybertron, which leaves them all stunned in amazement. The surface of Cybertron looks beautiful with its galactic views and electric landscape, which leaves them perplexed and asking questions as to why none of them are allowed to be up there. So as you hear, the Transformers, particularly Orion Pax and D16, are really going to be trying to discover what this world that they're forbidden to seeing really looks like, and once they get a hold of it, it's going to be one of the driving forces behind them trying to rise up from the dark and dreary undergrounds to the vibrant and lively surface of Cybertron. And it seems like this thing is going to answer my questions, because for the longest time I've been wanting to get a full exploration on Cybertron, because there are so many different facets to this world that are very interesting, and I would really like to see creative takes on this planet. Like, what is Kaon going to be like? And we also have Iacon. I really want the planet of Cybertron to be a living and breathing character itself, because that's essentially what it is. It's Primus himself, who is basically the father of these Transformers. So we really need to see all the different capitals and landmarks of Cybertron be overly accentuated. I want these things to pop out. I want people to feel like they are actually there. And based on some of the descriptions I've been reading, such as this one, it looks like we're going to be getting that and then some. I originally thought they were going to take some cues from the Spider-Verse, since this is going to be a CG animated film, but apparently it's not going to be anything like the Spider-Verse, in a good way though. One Twitter user suggested that it looks more robotic, detailed, and mech-like, and that it came off more like the High Moon Cybertron aesthetic, and I think I speak for all the fans when I say this is our speed. Like, that's one thing that I absolutely loved about the Cybertron games. The look of those titles pretty much encapsulated everything that we love about the cyberpunk genre. Like, High Moon Studios literally took elements from things like Tron, Blade Runner, and even the Alien franchise to make the planet look sentient, and it seems like this movie is going to be going for a similar aesthetic, which shows that they are moving in the right direction. And as the description suggests, Orion and D16's optics are going to light up after seeing this, and it's going to make them wonder why they've been banned from even coming to the surface. But continuing this article, it says that suddenly a large cybernetic force appears in the distance, almost as if the surface of the planet itself is morphing into a monster with tentacles that doesn't want anyone to see what the outside world has to offer. Orion reveals to Alita 1 that they have found the matrix of leadership, which is the reason why they want to uncover more of what the leaders of Cybertron are hiding. The footage then ends when we see the group try to escape from the monstrous force on the planet's surface. There were also other significant bits of footage shown, like D16 molding the first ever Decepticon emblem from lava. The 3D animation is incredibly vibrant and sleek, with loads of color and fantastical designs on full display. Cybertron is full of other kinds of cybernetic creatures and landscapes, which all look gorgeous in this film's animation style. So as you guys hear, this basically corroborates even more what I've been saying, how I want this planet to be alive, and it seems like the Primes have laid out certain things in place in order to keep the lower people from actually infiltrating their deepest, darkest secrets, which sounds like the perfect reference to the Megatron Origin comics once again, because the Cybertron Council, or at least the Autobot Council, they abuse their political political powers to the fullest. So hopefully that's something that's also going to be translated into the big screen, actually seeing the Autobots painted in a different light before Optimus Prime and his camp changes things for the better. So it sounds like we're in good hands on all of those other areas, but there's one particular area we want to know more about, and that's the actual voice performances. As you guys are aware, we aren't getting the usual candidates for these roles, particularly with Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime and Frank Welker as Megatron. Instead, we're getting a movie that's going to be packed to the brim with A-list celebrities, which has raised some concern because Peter and Frank have become synonymous with their respective characters, and since we're getting our first full-length film with the Transformers on their home planet of Cybertron, we really want to see those actors in their respective roles. But if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think this move is for the best because it's going to get more people that are fans of those respective actors in the seats to go see this movie. Not to mention that these aren't the same characters we grew up watching on Saturday mornings. These are the younger versions of Optimus and Megatron, which are basically going to have different names and different personalities before they grow into the characters we're familiar with. If you guys remember in my previous videos, I talked about the whole concept of the T-Cog, which is basically the tool used in order for these Transformers to actually transform, and we're going to see them go through different metamorphoses throughout the film. And I'm not sure if this is true or not, these are just murmurings that I've been hearing, but apparently Peter Cullen will go on to ultimately voice Optimus once Orion Pax fully transitions into that character. But anyways, the description goes on to say that Transformers 1 looks like no other film from the series, even the iconic animated one from the 80s. Fans will be happy to know that Chris Hemsworth is almost unrecognizable as Orion, aka Optimus. It's hard to tell that he's voicing the role. Meanwhile, Keegan-Michael Key brings his comedic charm to B-127, and Scarlett Johansson brings strong resilience to Elita 1's voice. Brian Tyree Henry, however, sounds the most exciting as the soon-to-be Megatron, as he goes from sounding like a lovable brother to Optimus Prime to a subconscious adversary on a dime. Their robot designs, which borrow various elements from the classical 80s cartoon, the Transformers animated series from the late 2010s, and the fan-favorite Cybertron games, all match perfectly with the respective voice actors. So yeah guys, apparently the voice actors have been doing a stellar job, and they're gonna essentially melt into these roles that they play. You're not gonna be able to recognize them according to this description, which is an awesome thing, man. Like, I've been looking at interviews done by Chris Hemsworth, and he actually said he went out of his way to get advice from the man himself, Peter Cullen, on how to voice Orion Pax, which gives you an idea of how much work he's been putting into this and how much he actually cares about delivering a stellar performance. But with all that said, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. What do you think about all of these new details? Is this description of the world of Cybertron getting you very excited? And how do you feel about Peter Cullen and Frank Welker potentially getting their roles back at the end of the movie? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I ask that you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up. You can give me a thumbs down if you like. But if you really enjoyed this video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on all the different social media outlets. Sharing really makes a difference. But once again, this is your boy RBG, aka The Random Black Gamer, signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. As a successful YouTube user, I often get questions asking what I use to get my videos tons of views. And the answer to that is TubeBuddy. This thing has helped me take my channel to the next level in ways I never imagined. It's a browser extension that helps new and experienced YouTubers grow fast and optimize their channels. I've been using this extension for years, and it's constantly getting updated with new features, like the SEO tool that helps me come up with the perfect title, description, and tags to get more people to click on my videos. It even provides you with analytics beside your videos to see how much traffic your video is generating from various social media sites. The extension is absolutely free, but as a special offer, we're giving a 50% discount for channels that have less than 1,000 subscribers that purchase the Pro upgrade. All you have to do is enter in the code RisingStarBuddy. So if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel or taking your content to the next level, download the extension now. You can do so by clicking on this link that will be provided in the description of this video.